Good morning, beloveds. The gravity well of my bed was really strong this morning. I've been out, I've been for a walk. I'm also highly distracted by that. It's springtime and the flowers are blooming, but it's also cold. We're we're having that epic spring of the weather is like it's already gotten into the 80s. But today it dropped back into, for the last couple of days, the lows have been in the 40s. So it's just like, all right, okay. So, all right. It is April 2nd, and we are on a new book. This is 365 Days of Richer Living, Daily Inspirations from Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. And I said I was going to read the intro. I still didn't read the introduction. There's been a lot going on. So, but our title today is Today I Live in Abundance, for God supports me in every way. And the Bible quote is, I shall not want, which is Psalm 23, line 1. Okay. It looks like he's going to be there doing this the psalm for the next couple of days, and then they're going to move on to other ones. Well, maybe not. Interesting. No, it looks like April is, at least half of April is Psalm 23, which it's Holy Week. If you were raised, like I was raised Catholic, and Holy Week's a thing. Although I didn't know that today had a name. Or not today. Today's Good Friday. I'm sorry. Yesterday. A Maundy Thursday, which is they celebrate the Last Supper and the washing of the feet, which was new for me. And I was like, I mean, I know about those, but I didn't know that it had a name. So that was interesting. I was like, okay. So it is Good Friday. Easter is Sunday. And so the fact that we're doing the psalm and all of this, and it's just kind of all lining up and strangely. All right, let me get back to this. April 2nd, today I live in abundance, for God supports me in every way. I shall not want, which is Psalm 23:1. I live in a universe that is God created and God sustained, and I shall never lack any good thing. The intelligence that brought forth this universe is the intelligence of my mind today. The lavishness of nature is proof to me that my own personal life can be filled with an abundance beyond the limits of my present belief. I now accept this lavish good which God is pouring into my world by means of my consciousness. I destroy every fear of lack and limitation, and I know that God in me has already given to me more than I shall ever be able to use. I am fully receptive to the good which my Father has planned for me. I accept it in every form, whether money, friends, gifts, or opportunities. I seek the prosperous ways of life, for I know that I am God ordained to experience their good. His power is my power. His love is mine to distribute in my world. My riches are of the mind and spirit, and they demonstrate for me all that I shall need or shall ever want. I refute all belief that I cannot afford the best. His desire for me is everlasting good. I accept prosperity. I accept money as God in action. I accept myself as prosperity. I saturate my mind with God's prosperous ideas, and I shall give them full authority in my thinking to act through me. I know that I subjectively accept, and that the law of mind has already moved into action, and their acceptance is immediate. Today, I live in abundance, for God supports me in every way. I appreciate the action of property in all my affairs. All right. So immediately I'm kind of like, there are 4 paragraphs. And that third paragraph, I think that's where he kind of gets to the heart of, or the meat of, what Science of Mind teaches about prosperity and abundance. His power is my power, and his love is mine to distribute in my world. My riches are of the mind and spirit, and they demonstrate for me all that I shall need or shall ever want. And then he also says, I accept money as God in action. And that's one of the things. People get weird about money. Everybody gets weird about money. I have gotten weird about money. But one of the things that I try to remember when I'm thinking about money is exactly that. Money is God in action. Money is not a thing in and of itself. Money is energy. It's energy. And so sometimes I have a lot of energy, and I can do a lot of things with that energy. And sometimes I have less energy, and I cannot do as much with that energy. And when I'm in one of those stages where my energy is a little low, what I have to remember is that it is coming from an inexhaustible source. So while at this moment I am being frugal with my energy, I am plugged into a source that is inexhaustible, that will bring me more to do with as I need. But there are a whole lot of other things in that I am never going to run short of. I'm never going to run short of love. I'm never going to run short of creativity. It may look a little different. So, and that was one of the things that occasionally when I will say that people will go, oh, right. It's not a thing. Money is not a thing in and of itself. It is energy. So I like the fact that he said it's God in action. It's God in action. Because we get so bound up with collecting things that we don't do anything with them. And it's like, so we have all of these gifts, and then we have all of these talents, and we have all of this money, and we're not doing anything with them. It's like, no, they're meant to be used. They're meant to be spent. They're meant to be spread around. Your gifts, your talents, and money. They're not meant to stay in one place. They are meant to be shared. All right. So let's start out with God supports me in every. Today I live in abundance, for God supports me in every way. It's not just material. It is also about gifts and talents and what have you. So he starts off by saying, I live. And not just the L is capitalized. He capitalized the entire word live. L-I-V-E. I live. How many of us do that? How many of us live in a universe that is God created and God sustained? Like, right there, he's asking us to look around and go, everything is created of God's stuff. I mean, that's easy to do in nature. You look around and you see a tree and you go, oh, that's amazing. Or you look around and you see a flower and you see, that's amazing. Or you look at like a dragonfly with those gossamer wings and those eyes and you go, that's amazing. But look at your fellow godlings. Walk into an urban center and go, this is God created. This is God sustained. And you go, it's a little harder to see. Why? Why is it harder to see? Why is it harder to see? It's just a question. Okay, so I live in a universe that is God created and God sustained, and I shall never lack any good thing. The intelligence that brought forth this universe is the intelligence of my mind today. The mind that made a star is the mind that made you. The lavishness of nature is proof to me that my own personal life can be filled with an abundance beyond the limits of my present imagination, or my present belief. That may be one of the reasons why basic psychology or advanced psychology says go for a walk in nature. Go for a walk in nature. Go spend some time in nature. Look around at the amazing ways that life happens. And I'm not talking just forests. I mean, you could try it in a desert too. And you will be struck by the way life finds a way. You can go to Antarctica and you'll be struck by the way that life finds a way. So that right there is, for you, a hint that you will find a way. You will always find a way, because the mind that made a star is the same mind you use. I now accept this lavish good which God is pouring into my world by means of my consciousness. God can do for me what God can do through me. I have to be willing. I have to expect and accept. Two sides of the same coin. Expect and accept. I destroy every fear of lack and limitation, and I know that God in me has already given me more than I shall ever be able to use. I know that God in me has already given me more than I shall ever be able to use. That's what I'm talking about. Your gifts, your talents, all of that. You came into this world with this amazing design of all of these things that you can do. You are not obligated to do any of them, actually, much less all of them, but they're there. They're there. You came into this world extraordinarily gifted. And you get to discover the gifts and the talents that you want to use. I am fully receptive to the good which my Father has planned for me. I accept it in every form. I accept this good in every form, whether it money, friends, gifts, or opportunities. So he says, don't get stuck up on that first one. Don't get stuck up on the money. It's not all about the money. It is also the friends, the people around you, the people that you love, the people that just walk through your life and, do what it is that they do. The gifts, the opportunities. It's like opportunity is knocking. Are we opening the door? And if we're not opening the door, are we at least opening the window and looking out? I seek the prosperous ways of life, for I know that I am God ordained to experience their good. And that's what prosperity is about. Prosperity is about recognizing the good in your life, in whatever form it comes in. His power is my power, and his love is mine to distribute in the world. Now, both times when he said his, he uses the capital H. So, Spirit's power is my power, and Spirit's love is mine to distribute in my world, the world that I live in. I have this inexhaustible source of love that is flowing through me that I get to distribute. It is my privilege to distribute that love into the world in the ways that I see fit, in the ways that I choose to do it. And you have that same source of love to distribute in your world. My riches are of the mind and the spirit, and they demonstrate for me all that I need or shall ever want. My riches are of the mind and the spirit, and they demonstrate for me all that I shall need. So because I have these gifts of the mind and these gifts of the spirit, then I can translate that into any other form of prosperity that I want. Anything that I need, anything that I want, I already have that within me to fulfill that. And sometimes that means making relationships with other people. I don't have to do it by myself, nor do you. I refute all belief that I cannot afford the best. His desire for me is my everlasting good. Spirit's desire for us is our everlasting good, because Spirit is experiencing that good through us. Why wouldn't it want that? I accept prosperity. I accept money as God in action. I accept myself as prosperity. I'm not just accepting prosperity. I am accepting myself as prosperity. I am prosperity. You are prosperity. I saturate my mind with God's prosperous ideas, and I give them full authority in my thinking to act through me. I saturate my mind with God's prosperous ideas. That's what spiritual practice is for. That is what spiritual practice is for. I said, because Ernest is making the assumption that we come into this world amazingly, uniquely gifted and talented. We are full of unique gifts and talents from that source. All we have to do is open up and expect and accept, and then use those gifts and talents. Spiritual practice. I give them full authority in my thinking to act through me. I know that I subjectively accept, and that the law of mind is already moved into action, and their acceptance is immediate. There is no time in God. There is no time in Spirit. It is always now. Today I live in abundance, for God supports me in every way. I appreciate the action of prosperity in all my affairs. So God supports me, God supports you, God supports us in every way. In every way. It's not just material. It's also emotional. It is also mental. It is through harmony and creativity and unity and peace and love. All of those are aspects of prosperity too. The more harmonious your life is, the more prosperous you are. The more creative your life is, in whatever way. Everybody kind of gets stuck on creativity as artists, and for a long time I was like, well, to be an artist I have to be able to draw. I am not capable of drawing. That is not one of my gifts and talents. I mean, I can do it, but I look like a third grader. So I had to give that idea up. I had to give up the idea that the only way to be an artist and the only way to be creative was to draw. Because it turns out that I am extraordinarily creative doing what I'm doing right now. Which ironically is running my mouth. That is where I am an artist. That is where I am creative. That is one of my gifts and my talents. And it's something I do every day. Therein lies your prosperity. What is something that you do every day that you love? What is it that you do creatively? I know people who cook. I know people who bake. I know people who, it's like you can just go on and on and on. And it's not even about producing anything. I know people who are extraordinarily prosperous because of the way they create relationships with other people. So they have all of these people around them. And I think that's the prosperity. When everybody who comes into your sphere of influence walks away from you better, maybe, than when they walked into your sphere of influence. But that's just my definition of prosperity. So, our mission today, should we choose to accept it, I'm going to give you the one that we started with. To live in a God-created and God-sustained world. What does that mean? It means looking around you and seeing the God stuff and seeing the Godlings. It means looking in at life and seeing the God energy. It means looking in each other's eyes and looking in our own eyes and seeing God looking back at us. It is about living, not just existing. It's about getting out and using those God-given talents. It is about truly living. And it comes with a little bit or a whole lot of enjoyment. Existing is not necessarily enjoying, but living is. All right, beloveds. It is Friday. It is Friday. It is Good Friday. I know that the musicians are working on a pretty cool service. I have no idea what else is going on. But there was an email today. So, check your emails, see what's going on. If you if you're not on that email list, email info@creativelife.org. You can get on the email list and you can find out what's going on. Some days I know, today is not one of them, but it is a beautiful day. So do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Every day. Every day. It is Good Friday. Which, considering what Good Friday is about, it's kind of an odd, and it's hard to say, if you were raised Catholic, it's hard to say, have a good Friday. But go and enjoy the day. Do something to engage your mind and your body. Go out and see the creativity of nature bursting around you. Go and see the abundance of nature bursting around you. The lilies in the field are arrayed as fine as the kings of Israel. So can you be. So can you be. All right, beloveds, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you that you do live in heaven now, because you are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased always and forever. This is our state of grace that we live in. Do what you need to do to make it a wonderful day. All right, beloveds. I'll be back with you tomorrow around 9 a.m. because tomorrow's Saturday and I get to go to the park and play with the squirrels. All right, beloveds. Have a wonderful day, and you can always catch me on YouTube. There is almost an entire year's worth of this stuff on YouTube. The Running Rev Brian YouTube. All right. Have a wonderful day.